Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the H&S podcast. Henry, say hello.
Hi, everyone.
And I'm Shaun. Another Supercoach beginners guide today, episode 3, I think. We are currently looking at Henry's team. Henry, do you want to click home in the top left so we can get an overview of your rankings? There we go. 12, 15, top 29%. In Henry's defence, he was overseas for work, so couldn't work on his team when we got the 6 games team list Tuesday, but still a
Yeah,
decent score. Let's see how you went, Henry. What's your team look like? If you hit classic in the top next to home, that's usually the easier way. Just because, yeah, when you play draft and stuff, instead of going update my team, then clicking draft, you just pick classic or draft, and it'll take you straight here. Yeah, so standouts. How do you think you went? Where are your standouts? Where are your sort of misses?
I think Munster did his work.
Yep,
Pretty good game. Osako, and then who else was there? Olakalawatu.
yep, yeah,
I knew he was gonna have a killer. I knew it, and I'm glad that it happened.
yeah. And
Um,
that's good, right? Like that's half a super coach. If you have a gut pick, just do it.
yeah,
Uh,
and then Trebojevic for my flex was good. Glad that that paid off, and he played really well as well.
yep. What problems are in your team that we might need to fix up?
Get rid of Moses because he's out for another 5 weeks, and for now.
Yep, because yeah, he didn't play. Cool. The strategy for Supercoach tends to be if you can wait and see after one game, wait and see because like a McLean for the Panthers, he might he got concussed, sure, but he played like 3 minutes, got 4 points, and the person who replaced him, Dane Laurie, got a shitload of points. So there's an argument to be said to keep him if you can. But when you have people like Moses and Finau in your team, it is usually good to get rid of them straight away. So scroll up. I just want to see who else you've got. So problem areas in your team. Mamazulos is probably a problem area. Royce Hunt is a problem area. Kobe Hetherington, Vimarga, and then the ones we've already mentioned. Now, the reason Kobe's a problem area is because he got 2 line breaks. Take those out, and obviously he scored the point, so you can't take him out. But I doubt he's going to get them every week. Take those out, and he's a worrying score. But for now, we're not going to focus on it. The 2 big ones are the players who aren't playing. So let's trade out Mitch Moses and Finau. See how we go. So if you hover over Mitch and then hit the T. So what you just did there is usually a sub. When we
Oh,
say
thank
trade,
you.
we mean like we want to get rid of them. So you've now hit the trade button on Smith instead of Moses because you subbed it. But yeah, if you hit that minus, perfect, and fix it that way. This will be, I think this is your last week with Supercoach Gold as a trial. What do you want to do here?
So you're saying sell him,
Yeah,
or
because
that's
that Mitch Moses, that 620K is too much money to have sitting there for 5 weeks at the start of the season.
yeah,
Especially in halfback, and especially when your replacement is Sandon Smith. If this is end of season, and you've got Cleary as a spare, and you've got more money than you need, then it's fine. But right now, money's tight. 5 more weeks at least. You probably want to punt him. And yeah, so who do you want to bring in at halfback?
probably try and get Nathan Cleary in here.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking of is getting rid of. I just, yeah, I'd like to give McLean a go, but I think he's going to be out for another 2 weeks. He didn't make the team list this week, did he?
There is a
Did,
McLean there. I just don't know if it's Jesse or Casey. Yeah. Just remember you're still screen sharing and we're
can you
recording.
see?
So yeah, I can see, but I just want to make sure that you don't accidentally alt tab to something.
I don't have anything inappropriate.
Not on this computer anyway. Oh my
Okay, so
god,
who
the
we got?
website's so
No,
ugly.
Casey's in.
Casey's in.
Casey's.
Yeah, there we go. He's back because it's it's been it'll be 12 days from that protocol. So yeah, he's playing, but you do need to make money if you want to bring in Cleary. So what do we do? We need to cash somebody in, and how do we do that? Scroll up. There's an option where if you oh no, that won't work. Actually, if you hit trade on Egan, Wade Egan. Yep. Hit S on Connor Watson, so that's the sub. It'll move him up to hooker because he's got that dual position. And then in your filters, go by dollar per point. So if you go right again, yep. Now, this gives you a good breakdown. So for every point they score, how many dollars are they going for, right? So Jack Gazuski could be an option. Now, bear in mind, he scored a try and only got 66 points. So he's not the best option. Lachlan Hubner would be who I go for. So if you hit the plus on Lachlan Hubner a little bit further down, the green plus, yep. And that gives you enough for Cleary. So you can now bring in Cleary if you want.
Why would I get rid? Why would I get rid of Egan?
Yeah, we'll get around to that, but so there's no one who you want to get rid of that will give you Nathan Cleary. The reason I'm telling you to get rid of Egan is because it lets me show people how to use the sub and the dual position functions, and bring in a gun. Yep. And but we can discuss who you actually get rid of to bring him in. So Nathan's at the bottom there. You got to hit the green plus. This will give you the profile summary. So that's how one way to do it, and you've got 130k. You can complete trades because we can reverse the trade out as well. Actually, no, hit cancel. Just because we're going to discuss who we're going to get rid of, right? So if we don't do this...
I get 2 trades?
Sorry?
You get 2 trades anyway.
Yeah.
2 trades.
Yeah, you only get 2 trades every normal round. 3 trades. Oh, by the way, they upped how many trades you get. It was 42. This year it's 46. It might have been 46 last year. Yeah. So who do you want to trade out to get in Nathan Cleary? Because it's a bit of
Wade Egan.
So the way you'd bring him back, you can reset. That's the easiest way to do it. You could have also jigsawed it back out, and then you'd have to minus on Lachlan Hubner.
Why would I minus him?
Because he can't fit in your team anymore.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so...
now you can see how much money you need to make.
Yeah, so looking at the trades...
So this is where you sort of want to look at who can you trade in and who can you trade out, and then try to balance the two, right? Because you might have a really easy trade out, but then there might not be somebody better to bring in instead.
What do I need? I need 128.
So Billy Smith is not a bad shout if you can find somebody cheap enough. Which you might be able to. If you hit trade on Billy Smith, it'll give you all the options you can get for him. And scroll, and there we go. Robert Toyer is 10k too much. Far out.
Close one.
Yeah. No, you can't do it. Toyer would be the cheapest person. That's close. But is there anyone who's 330k that you can trade out for Toyer instead?
Could be McLean.
Yeah. That's up to you. I personally, after what I saw from the Roosters last week, I'm keeping McLean. I have him in my team. Yeah. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think there could be a bit of a change up here. So we go... let's take that off for now. Sorry, I'm just thinking here,
No, that's all right.
thinking this through.
Yeah, the other option, like, go back to halfbacks. So if you hit filters, no, sorry, top under projected score on your right. Yep, and then click HFB by position. There are other options there for you, right? It's
Rid of Metcalf.
yeah, or you could get a 5'8", right? Instead of getting Nathan Cleary, you could get a 5'8". I don't know if there are any 5'8s that are standouts at the moment. Filter, add in 5'8s as well.
Man, I could.
Sorry, you were going to say?
No.
Yeah, and then go back. No, keep halfback there. And now go out. So hit the cross. Yep. And maybe sort by average instead. Because we're not looking at value. So, yep. How much is Nathan? 811. So you can pretty much get whoever you want. Well, Dylan Brown's pretty value. Like, he's half the price. Literally half the price of what he's going to get paid next year. So...
You're saying him instead of Nathan?
I'm not saying Dylan Brown instead of Nathan. I'm saying maybe not Nathan, but if it's not Nathan, who else could it be?
Okay. No, I'm happy to try and jigsaw Nathan in.
Yeah.
Let me get back into it. So, Metcalf didn't play well. 12 points. Was there anything that happened in that game besides?
I didn't watch it. It was on too early for me.
That's right. It was on. I was sick.
But I don't know. He didn't get injured or anything. It was just a shit game. I'm going to keep him for a week because I can. But if you think he's the best person to trade out, then do that.
It's either him or I go Kobe Hetherington, right? And try and find some money out of Kobe. So if I go Kobe...
Yeah, just clear those filters. Perfect.
Let's see what we got. What's...
Jack Kazuski is your cheapest option. Now, he did score a try and all that sort of stuff, but, I mean, he's 66 and he's cheap as.
Yeah, and he still performed better.
Yeah.
Does that give me...
Personally, I would go Lachlan Hubner.
Didn't give me what I wanted.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't give me what I want anyway.
Yeah, true. Corey Horsburgh. No, you want to keep him. Terrell May.
This is very, very heavy here.
You are.
Very heavy here.
Yeah. You click on Egan's profile. So wait, yeah, just click the name. I want to see what stats he got. Scroll down. He's got 48. Does it show his PPM? 0.6. So yeah, he would have played 80 or close to. Scroll down even more. I want to see who he's got coming up. Does it not show his draw? Huh. Scroll up. There's usually a way to check the draw for this. Let me try and find it.
This one. You got Sea Eagles, Roosters, Tigers, and there's these points per game.
Yeah, that's gold though. Sometimes I just show you what's coming up next, but this is fine. This will work. So yeah, Sea Eagles at home. There it is. Bang. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. There it is. Cool. So he's got Sea Eagles at home, Roosters at home, Tigers away. That's a decent run, not gonna lie. Roosters and Tigers.
I'm keeping him.
Yep.
I don't want to get rid of him. I don't think he's, for the money he's on, I don't think he's a bad.
Sorry, you still there?
Is there a cheaper option instead of Mamazulis?
There is, but not enough. Not cheap enough.
No, but that's fine. Because then I still get rid of Kobe, go Hubner, and I try and make money out of a sell of Mamazulis instead.
But then you won't have Nathan Cleary. Unless...
Why wouldn't I have Nathan Cleary?
So how are you going to get rid of Mamazulis?
You can only do one trade at two.
Yeah, unless you boost, and I don't recommend boosting right now. Not for Mamazulis out and some random guy in, at least. Yeah, this is a tough one. What would I do here? Cancel everything and go back to your team. So just cancel big red top right corner. Yep. Scroll down. Now let's just make your team as strong as it possibly can be for this round. So let's set it up and see what it looks like. That all looks pretty good. Scroll up. Okay. Yep. Okay, start Tino. Cool. Maybe put the reserve on Corey Horsburgh as well. Yep, perfect. Do you still want it on Martin though? So essentially, which 4 do you want to put the reserves on?
I keep it. I can put on Corey. I think
Corey. Probably take it off Finau for sure.
What would you put it on the?
I'd probably put it on Liam Martin. There we go. So that's your team. Oh no. So click the R on Finau, and then click the R on whoever else you want to be it. I don't actually know how it decides who it takes the R from, but if you take it off and then obviously you've only got 3, then you put a 4th one on, it doesn't take it off anyone. So it's not the worst team going into the next week, right? You've got the only hole, there's no big holes that you need to cover. So what you could do, and I don't recommend this, but if it was somebody else and they weren't versing the Roosters, what you could do is make one trade to make money this week and then go bang bang next week on 2 players that you want. But Nathan Cleary is a bit of a priority when he's versing the Roosters. After seeing everything, I would do the original trade that I sort of just showed everyone, which was Egan out, Connor Watson up, Hubner in, and then Cleary in. That would be what I settle on if this was my team. But yeah, if you can find a better way to do it or a way that you prefer, then yeah, we'll do that instead. But we want to get Cleary in. So what are you thinking at the moment? You want to get a cheap 5'8" in?
Yeah, maybe a cheap 5'8".
Yeah, if you look, yeah. So if you're looking for cheap 5'8", then the best way to do it would be to average by dollars per point and scroll all the way up, which you're already all the way up. And then you could also hit the filter button. Yep, and then 314, sorry. And that'll give you all your options if you've got any. I don't know why they don't let you type in some numbers here, why it's only a slider, but anyway. Cool. So scroll all the way up. You don't have, there's no one you can pick, unfortunately. No one's played in your price point, and you kind of want to have people who've played already. So you could do Casey if you want, and bring in Toya. Or you could do Egan and bring in Hubner. Those are your 2 options.
Who's a bigger upside?
Well,
McLean.
The reason.
My biggest.
Sorry, your biggest upside is McLean. McLean's more likely to get 120 than Egan is. And the other thing that worries me is, when does Billy Smith come back? And does he take Toya's spot or Nwanganitawase's? So that's why because I don't think Egan's going to get you bulk points, if I'm being really honest. Let me just look at his stats from last year. But I think he might just average like 60. Which, is fine, but you can... So last year he averaged 50 points, and he played 67 minutes. There are some good 80-minute games in there. Actually, some really good 80-minute games in there. Yeah. Why is he so low? 57-46, 28 in a 57-minute game. Yeah. Okay, look. Egan's not a gun. And he's probably not going to make you much money either. But the same could be said for Casey if he doesn't get lucky with tries. Now, Casey will lose money for the first week. And then once that 4 goes out of his rolling average, which we'll explain next week when break-evens are really important, he'll start to go up. I'm especially with, look, it's your decision to make, but those are your 2 choices. While you think about it, should I share screen and we'll go through the podcasts team?
Sure, let's go.
Yeah, cool. Alrighty, so I'll stop watching you. There we go. Cool. So this is the podcast team, everyone. Pretty much shows how important it is to check final teams and to make sure you've got a strong starting team. 1364 ranked 2600. Changes we made were I dropped Mamazoulis out. I'm not sharing to you. Sorry, Henry.
Yep.
Let me share my screen. There we go. So I dropped Mamazoulis out, moved Connor Watson here, and I put Hubner in. I also dropped Moses and brought in Tom Duffy. The reason I did that was because I couldn't bring in Nathan Cleary. He already locked out by the time Moses was confirmed to not be starting because he already played, and then Teamless Tuesday came after and said no Mitchell Moses anymore, right? Those were the 2 big ones. I think I brought in Robert Toya because Finau wasn't playing. While I'm not a fan of Robert Toya in terms of his job security, I didn't want to do too much of just this is Shaun's team. I wanted to make it like a collaborative one, and Toya was just the most obvious cheapie that everyone else was getting. So I was like, okay, I'll just do that and follow the crowd instead of getting whoever I wanted to get. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the team. Are there any obvious weaknesses or any trades that you really want to make?
Not here. No,
Okay.
I think you've done well here.
Okay, so for people watching, the plan is obviously one of these 2 will turn into Nathan Cleary as quickly as possible. But it's not like alarm bells ringing and we're not that desperate. I'll probably take the reserve off Liam Martin and put it on Casey McLean. Henry, do you agree with that?
Hello? Sorry, I'm thinking.
My reasoning just is upside, right? Casey, if he stays on the field against the Roosters, could score a shitload of tries. But then again, Martin could score a try or 2 as well.
Yeah,
but we can actually play Martin anyway. We'll just bench Hetherington.
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah, perfect. Are you happy with these 4 starting?
Yeah.
Dropping out Purdue and Shibasaki.
I would have had McLean over probably Tamal. But that's only because I think he might have a good game this.
Yep. And the Raiders play later, so that's a good switch to make because the points will be the same, but he plays later, so that's good. It's good to keep him on the bench. Good shout with Zarko. Great shout with Zarko. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, this is the only red flag that I see. No guns in the halfback position.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking right now, if I look at this, I've got 2 trades, right? So if I do 2 trades on get rid of Billy Smith and then try and get rid of
Do you want to start? Are you
Hetherington
sharing?
in one deal. Yep, should be still sharing.
Okay, I can't see it. Then maybe I need to stop sharing for that.
No, you should still be able to click on my name now. So if you go back to Discord, you should see under the recording channel. If you pick recording channel.
Yep. Yeah. If I hover over you and then hit watch stream. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Bring you back on. This will get smoother, guys. I promise.
So we do trade. And we do trade.
Yep.
So we trade these guys first and get some money back into our available cash. And here we look at, okay, so B Smith, which was Toya, I think you mentioned. So if we do that as
It'll already
our filter.
Yeah, so if you're trading just normally and you're not messing around with it too much, it'll only show you players that you could trade in. So you've got second rowers and
We do
centers here.
Toya.
The one caution I want to give to you and the listeners is if Billy Smith comes back and it's for Robert Toya, you're in a bit of trouble.
Yes.
And your other option would be just make the Hubner trade, which will net you $100,000. And then next week, you can make 2 trades, one for Cleary and another one to free up more money. And if it's Billy Smith for Toya, then it's Billy Smith for Toya. But if next week Billy Smith's back and Toya's out, then at least then you can pivot and make a different call there. Now, the issue with it is you might want to make more than 2 trades next week. So if you can put in 2 trades now, then that frees up something. But I think it's worth just doing this one trade. And if you get stuck next week, using a boost instead of risking Toya not getting named again. You could do Mamazulos, yep. Yeah, if you want to. I saw you hovering over that. Give that a crack. Corey Pakes is a better shout than Mamazulos. You could also sub up Connor Watson and get Gazuski in there. Sandon Smith and get Tom Duffy in there. So
that gives me 230. That's what I need.
Yeah, if you pause here though, press the minus on Corey Pakes. Yep, it's always good to look at your options. So now sub up Connor Watson. Yep. Gazuski.
Okay.
Right? You can now see who else you can get in. But if you sub Connor Watson back down, and here's the best part. Now sub up Sandon Smith. Because he's got the dual position, right? He can be in that spot as well. Now you've got all your other options. Right?
Yep.
But here's the even better part. Sub down Sandon Smith. Sub up Connor Watson. And now sub down Tino Fasul Malawi. Or Corey Horsburgh, whichever of the 2 you want to do. And you could even get a prop instead. So you're trading out a hooker, but you could get a hooker in, you could get a front rower in, you could get a second rower in, you could get a halfback in. You can even get a 5'8" in if you sub Sandon up to hooker and then move Metcalf over into halfback.
Yeah.
So the world is your oyster when it comes to this. So it's just about trade. You found the trade out target, but now who do you really want to trade in, right?
Yeah.
So you've already got Hubner in for Hetherington.
Yep.
But that's something to think about, and we don't need to finish thinking now. Supercoach is forever evolving. Corey Pakes is.
I think we go Corey Pakes here over Mamazulis. He played well, and that gives us the money we need.
Yeah, and then next week you can get in Cleary. Now remember, If you want, right now, you could boost and get in Cleary for Moses and have Cleary playing the Roosters.
Yep, I do want to boost.
Don't let me stop you. You've been given all the tools. Like, you know how important boosts are. You know the strategy now about when to bulk trade and when to not bulk trade and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to boost, you could boost. I'm just if you want to know how to boost, you click the boost thing under your trades where the 2X's are.
Afterwards, right? After I complete this
No,
trade.
you can do it now. So activate trade boost, read that, activate. Well, you don't have to read it, but it's just covering my liability, Henry.
So that's your extra 46. That's where the other 2 came from. Okay. Yep.
So you could activate, and instead of 44 trades left, you'd have 43, and you'd have Nathan Cleary in for Mitchell Moses.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you could do it in one swing. Like, all this hullabaloo is to make sure that you keep Wade Egan, and you've got to ask yourself if it's worth it. Personally, I wouldn't spend a boost to keep Wade Egan. I'd rather just get rid of Wade Egan. Because, like, the thinking there is Wade Egan's never going to be an end-of-season gun, and he's not really doing much for you now. Right? You look at Pakes and Egan, Pake scored more and he's worth less. He's half as expensive. So while close to 50 isn't bad, he's also 500k. So you're doing dollar per point. That's going to be tough. If you do by price or by average, that'll bring Cleary up to the top a little bit faster. So you've got 2 options here. You could either bring in Pakes or you can bring in Hubner. What would you prefer?
I haven't watched Hubner, so I wouldn't know.
Hubner is, so if you go to Supercoach stats, and so this is how, if you haven't watched, this would be, it's a new tab, Google search Supercoach stats, or you can just go to supercoachstats.com. Yep, first one. It's a great website, everyone. If you can donate, there's a yellow donate button there. They do great work. Yes, drop down.
Who am I going for?
Hubner, because you want to see how he went last week. Yep. There he is. And then enter. Oh, you don't need to do enter. And then if you look in the bottom left, 2025 draw, that'll show you that he played 13, or he was named to start in the 13. That's the jersey number, not the positional number. He scored 45 points, I think. It's a bit tough to see, but I think it's 45 points in 59 minutes, 47 base, and he probably made an error or gave away a penalty. Thank you, that's so much better. And then you've got his break even and his points per minute as well. Break even will be explained next week. So you can get him, or you can get, was it Pakes?
Yeah, I think I'd pick Pakes.
Yeah. I mean, you can also look at Pakes' stats here, so just find out what Pakes did last week.
Oops.
There it is. So Pakes played very similar minutes. He scored 56 points, but he had a try in there. And that try probably also came with a line break. So that's an extra 25 to 30 points from that try.
The top halfway points.
Yeah. Whereas Hubner, you could, unless he gets less minutes, you could probably say that he's going to get those points every week. Because they're those base stats that we... When's who?
When's Marshall back then?
Marshall? Who's Marshall?
Marshall King.
He plays for the Dolphins.
Wasn't that Dolphins for Hubner? Oh, wait,
no, Hubner's a lock for the Rabbitohs.
Oh, wow.
Because Cam Murray's out.
Sultan. Yeah. He just had the jersey.
Yeah. There was a late... they didn't update it. But, yeah, that's...
he has to change the team. Okay.
I think they just call the image from some database. And that database probably hasn't updated. But those are your options. That's a really good thing to show people. It's a bit late in the episode to show people that. A lot of people probably have clicked off, but that's how you make a decision if you don't have the time to watch every game. So you now know how many minutes they played, how they scored their points. The one thing that site doesn't tell you is, oh, did Hubner play more minutes because somebody got injured? I don't think
Yeah.
that's the case, right? He played, so yeah.
Okay, I think this is good.
Yeah. And obviously make your choice. I'm obviously big on Hubner I'm big on Hubner as the player to get. But if you change your mind, bring in Pakes, let me know, and I'll update the Instagram and let people know that way.
No, I think you're right here. I'll take your. I want to take your advice as well, right? Not just my decisions. That's a good shout because I didn't really think about it.
And
Okay, I'm completing the trade.
the benefits here, and you can click confirm, you can always reverse. Oh, you can reverse trades as well. So up until the players are locked out, you can keep reversing trades. And now just fix your team up. The benefit that we gained from all this is we've got in a cheapie who's going to generate cash, Hubner. We've got in Nathan Cleary who's going to score a shitload of points. And we've saved our boost. We didn't have to do a boost to get Nathan Cleary in.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to bench Munster as well. Now, when you sub off somebody for a reserve, they're going to automatically have that reserve put on them. So press the R button on Munster. That'll take it off him, and now put it on whoever you want. So somebody's playing and probably going to score okay points. You're a bit stuck here, to be honest. You're going to have to go like either Smith or Hetherington or Mamazulos.
We'll go Smith here.
Yep. And if you're ever in this position, if you look on the bottom right, there's that draw for round 2. Who's Jackson Purdue playing this week? So he's got the Sharks at home. If you're looking at it and going like, well, do I want to... Who did you put it on? Who did you put the reserve on? Sandon Smith. Yeah.
Sandon.
So you can look at this and say, well, do I want Jackson at home against... Who are they playing? Sharks? Or do I want Sandon Smith away against the Panthers? It's matchup based now because they're both playing the back line. You could go for Kobe Hetherington as well against the Raiders. So if there's no clear... like it's not Cameron Munster, right? It doesn't matter who Cameron Munster's playing. You're going to put the reserve on him. But if it's like this, just look at the matchups and see how that goes and what happens there. And then the last thing I like to do is plan ahead. So next week, what's best case scenario? Would you be making trades next week? Are you planning for any trades next week?
Oh, I haven't thought about it that far ahead, to be honest.
The
only ones I'd start thinking about is my wings here.
Yeah.
So if McLean goes for another week of 4 points, we'd start considering because that's a $400,000 player,
and he's probably going to lose money
performing. Yeah.
The other one is Finau. He's burned. There's a lot of cheapies.
And same as Metcalf.
Yep, Metcalf could be another one. Finau is burning a hole. Like he's taking a spot in your squad that could be used on a cheapie instead.
Exactly.
There's no guns really that you need to bring in that I can see. Like there's no urgent Cleary type options next week. So that's good. But this is solid. I think it's a really good springboard for you. Definitely strengthened up certain spots. I'll bring the podcast team back up onto the screen. And I think I stopped sharing screen, so I'll go do that now for you as well to get that going. Cool. So my thing with this team would be similar to you. McLean. Is that better?
Give me a sec.
Okay. Well, McLean might go out.
Yep.
Purdue might go out. I'm not actually planning on trading him, but if Toya isn't named, that's something I need to think about a lot. But he's so cheap that it might not matter. Metcalf, if he gets sub 20, this is always going to be alarm bells. I'm always going to be looking on how to fix this. The halfbacks.
How often do the values go up and down?
Yeah, we'll go into it next week in depth as to why it's like this, but
Yep.
Players will start to change value after their third game. So once they play 3 games, their price will change before their 4th game.
Okay.
So most players will change value after round 3 because they've played 3 games usually, which is why next week's trades are so important because it's the last opportunity you get to make trades before prices change for everyone.
Yep.
Now, let's say if somebody's first game is in round 4, they'd play their second game in round 5. They'd play their third game in round 6, which is after round 6 is when their price would change. So it's not after round 3 that everyone's prices changes. It's after any player plays their third game.
Yep.
And then from after that, it changes every week. Based on their previous 3 scores.
Okay.
But that, I'll draw it out next week and explain it a lot better. Because obviously next week is that big before break-even changes for most people week. Here, I'll be honest, Wade Egan is an alarm bell for me. If I was being a bit loose, this is what I'd do this week most likely. Actually, I might even do it now.
You got available cash as 1-200.
Yeah, because I made those trades last week after the team list. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to get rid of Egan. I'm going to bring in Cleary. I think that's a pretty smart decision. Like, why wait to get Cleary, right? There's no reason to.
Especially for this week's game.
Yep. So what I did there is I traded Wade Egan out. I put Sandon Smith up, put Cleary in the team. Let's put the vice captaincy on him because he's versing the Roosters and they're pretty weak at the moment. Who are we gonna reserve? So Shibasaki against the Raiders away. Tom Duffy, is he in for redemption against the Sharks? Hubner will get you 40 to 50 points. Likewise with Hetherington, and then Sandon Smith a risk. I think we've got enough upside in this team, Henry. I don't know about you. Like we've got solid backs. Kalen Ponga, Tom Trbojevic, Cleary, Metcalf's an upside player. Olakawatu. I would probably think we go safe and get like a 40 to 50 instead of going Purdue and risking 20 or 80.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And captain on Tom. Are we happy with that?
Captain on Tom. I put Tom as my fullback instead of Kalen.
Yeah. But are you happy to captain him away to the Warriors?
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, he plays before Nathan, which means we can't do a vice captain loophole. So we've got the vice on Nathan, right? This is how the vice captain loophole works. I'm going to explain. You know what? No, I won't explain it this week. It's pretty metagaming. It's a way to get 2 stabs at a captain. But there's a lot of stuff involved. So I'm sorry I mentioned it. I'll get rid of it now. We'll leave it like this. We've been recording for a fair while. But yeah, this is the podcast team. Looking really strong. It's better than my personal team, which got 1307 last week. So that's that. Any questions or thoughts before you leave?
No, I think it's starting to become a little more clear. I didn't realize how much changes people go through in a day. Or in a week.
Yeah. It's Supercoach can be all-encompassing, let's say, which is why, even though nobody's heard of us, we've done 2 Supercoach podcasts, and it's getting 17 times the listens our other podcasts get. It's only 17 listeners, but still.
17 more.
Yeah. 17 times. It sounds better. Come on, mate. You're corporate. You gotta learn how to talk.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you for listening.